All right, let's dive into The Miracle Morning. This book by Hal Elrod, it's all about how you start your day, like how those first couple hours, they can really set you up for success or even change your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to break down some of the big ideas here, especially this thing called the Savers Framework.
Okay.
But first, let's talk about Hal Elrod himself because his story is pretty wild. This guy, he came back from a near-fatal car accident
Wow.
and financial ruin. And that experience is actually what led him to develop this whole system.
Yeah, what I think is so interesting is that he doesn't just tell you to like seize the day, you know?
Right.
He gives you this plan for making your mornings work for you so you can overcome almost anything. It's like a guide to being resilient using that quiet time before everyone else is up.
Totally. It's like a secret weapon, right?
Right.
A head start. And it makes you wonder, why are those early hours so important? Is it just because, like, you don't have as many emails then? Or is there something deeper happening?
It's definitely more than just the peace and quiet. Think about it. In the morning, your willpower is like, it's at its highest, your mind's fresh, you haven't gotten bogged down with all the stuff you got to do that day.
Right.
So it's the ideal time to set your intentions for the day, visualize your goals, get yourself in the right headspace for whatever's coming next.
Makes sense. So, okay, let's get into how it actually works. You mentioned the SAVERS framework, which stands for silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing.
Right.
I'm really curious to hear more about each of those elements.
So each part of that, it's designed to target a different part of personal growth.
Okay.
It's not just about checking things off a list,
Yeah.
It's about doing things with intention.
Hmm.
Practices that all work together to give you a sense of purpose and even make you more effective all day long.
Got it. So, starting with silence.
Mm.
I've tried meditation a little bit, but I don't know if I fully get, like, how impactful it can be.
Well, imagine having a totally clear mind before you have to give a big presentation, or being able to stay calm when something stressful happens instead of getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
See, that's what starting your day with stillness can do for you, whether it's meditation or just sitting quietly and reflecting. It's like hitting the reset button on your mind so that you can face the day with a fresh perspective.
I can see the value in that, for sure. Okay, now, affirmations. I have to admit, sometimes they feel a little cheesy to me.
It's not about just repeating things that sound good but don't mean anything.
Right.
It's about choosing affirmations that really resonate with you, with your goals,
Yeah.
Like imagine if every morning you're reinforcing something positive about yourself. Wouldn't that change how you see yourself
Right.
and how you approach challenges during the day? It's all about getting your inner voice to line up with what you want to achieve.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I can see how that could make a difference, like, over time. All right, visualization. I've heard about athletes using this, but how does it apply in everyday life?
It's not just about picturing yourself succeeding. It's more about preparing your brain to take action. Think about a goal you're really motivated to reach right now. Say, landing a new client or finishing a big project.
Okay.
When you picture the steps you need to take to get there, like really vividly, you're actually activating the same parts of your brain as if you were really doing it.
Oh.
It's like a mental rehearsal for success, and it can really increase your focus and your motivation.
So it's like tricking your brain into thinking you've already done it, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay, now on to exercise. Honestly, this one's a bit of a struggle for me in the mornings.
I get it. Not everyone's a morning workout person. But the science behind it's pretty clear. Like, besides giving you energy, exercise releases all those feel-good endorphins that lift your mood. And what might surprise you is that it actually makes you think more clearly.
Really?
Yeah, and focus better all day long.
Okay, you've convinced me. I definitely need that extra focus some mornings.
Ah.
All right, let's move on to reading. I love books, so this one's definitely up my alley.
It's not just about enjoyment, though. Think of it as like a workout for your brain. Reading expands your knowledge, of course, but it also makes you more creative and helps you learn from other people's experiences. And what's interesting is that it doesn't have to be, super serious stuff.
Okay.
Reading anything that interests you, whether it's fiction, biographies, or even just industry news, it can help keep your mind sharp.
So even catching up on my favorite blogs could count.
Absolutely.
Great. And finally, we have scribing.
Mm.
I've never been much of a journaler, so I'm interested to hear what Elrod has to say about it.
Yeah, well, journaling isn't just about writing down what happened to you. It's about working through your thoughts and your feelings, getting clarity, even tracking your progress over time. It's a really good way to reflect on yourself, to make sense of your experiences. You can even use it to focus on the good things in your life, practice gratitude, which can make you more optimistic overall.
You've definitely given me a lot to think about.
Mm.
Okay, so we've covered all the parts of the Savior's framework.
But the key is
Yeah.
that, it's not just about going through the motions. The
Mm.
miracle morning, it's really about taking responsibility for your life and making a real effort to become the best version of yourself.
That's a great point. It's about using these tools to become more intentional about your life.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we have the power to change our habits, change our mindset, and ultimately change our destiny. It's not about, instant success or anything like that, but about putting in the work consistently to grow as a person.
And Elrod is really clear that you don't need hours and hours to make this work. He says even just 6 minutes dedicated to these Savers activities can lead to noticeable improvement.
Think about it. Little things you do consistently, they add up to big change, right? It's like working a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So over time, these small morning rituals can have a really big impact on your life.
There's one quote from the book that really hit me. The moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life.
That's a powerful one.
Like he's challenging you to take control and design your own future.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that we're not just along for the ride in life, right? We get to make choices, build habits, and shape our own destinies. And it all starts with how we choose to begin each day.
So what's standing out to you the most from this first look at the Miracle Morning? Which of the Savers are you most intrigued by?
That's a good question.
We'll dive deeper into the practical side of things in the next part of our deep dive.
As I was reading this, one thing that really stood out to me was how Elrod uses his own story throughout the book.
Oh, yeah.
He's not just like talking about his ideas, he's sharing his own struggles, his successes.
Yeah.
It makes it way more relatable.
Totally. It's like he's saying, hey, I've been there, I get it, but here's what I did. And the fact that he came up with this whole system after going through so much, a near-fatal car accident, money problems, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, no kidding. His story is a perfect example of how powerful these morning routines can be. It's not like he just changed overnight,
Right.
It was about making a commitment to starting each day with a purpose, even when things were hard.
So true.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into some of the practical stuff now. One thing that really struck me was how Elrod emphasizes making your miracle morning your own.
Okay.
Like, he gets that not everyone's a morning person, and he encourages you to adjust the savers to fit your life, your needs.
Yeah, that's really important. It's not about following a rigid schedule. It's about, figuring out what actually works for you. Maybe you only have 30 minutes, or maybe you prefer to read at night. The main thing is that you make it your own,
Right.
Create a routine that you can stick with.
It's like he gives you the tools,
Yeah.
but not a strict recipe.
Yeah,
You
right.
can try things out, see what feels good for you, your energy, your schedule. And I think that's why so many people have connected with this book. It's not one size fits all.
I agree.
It's about what works for you and what you want to achieve.
Definitely. And it's also good to keep in mind that, this is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
There will be days when you hit the snooze button or you skip a savers element, but, it's okay. The important thing is to not get discouraged.
Right.
Just get back on track the next day. Progress over perfection.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's about those habits you build over time.
Right.
And celebrating the small victories. The book's not all like sunshine and rainbows. Elrod talks about the challenges, too, the roadblocks you might hit when you're trying to make this work.
Yeah, he's realistic about it. Changing your habits is hard. And there are going to be times when you just want to give up. But he also gives you strategies to overcome those obstacles, like finding someone to keep you accountable, setting goals that are actually achievable,
Right.
and really focusing on the long-term benefits of the routine.
He talks a lot about having a strong why,
Yeah.
like a really compelling reason for wanting to change your morning, something that will keep you motivated, especially when it gets tough.
Yeah, like think about what you really want to achieve, how you want to feel. Do you want to be healthier, more productive?
Yeah.
Or just feel like more fulfilled overall? That's what's going to fuel your commitment to this.
It's like having that North Star guiding you, right?
Exactly.
It's not enough to just go through the motions. You need a deeper purpose driving you.
And that purpose, it's probably going to change over time too. As you start to see the benefits, your motivation might shift. Like you might start just wanting to wake up earlier, but then you realize it's actually affecting your focus, your relationships, even your creativity.
It's less about checking things off a list then, right? It
Yeah.
becomes more about creating a life that really reflects your values and your aspirations.
Yeah, and that's where the real magic is, I think. When you make a commitment to starting each day with intention and purpose, you open up all these possibilities. You become more proactive, more focused, and more resilient, when life throws you curveballs.
One of my favorite lines from the book is, "Wake up with determination, go to bed with satisfaction."
Oh, that's a good one.
It really sums up the miracle morning, doesn't it?
It does.
Starting your day with a sense of purpose and ending it feeling like you actually achieved something meaningful. It's something that's always fascinated me about this book is that it sparked a whole movement. There are miracle morning groups all over the world with people from all different backgrounds coming together, supporting each other.
I know, it's amazing.
What do you think it is about this that's resonated with so many people?
Hmm. Well, I think it taps into this desire we all have to live more intentionally, to connect with people who want the same things.
Yeah,
It's like finding your tribe, people who get the challenges and celebrate the wins with you.
right.
And that sense of community can be so powerful. Gives you support, keeps you accountable, and makes it easier to stick with those new habits and reach your goals.
So it's more than just the morning routine itself,
Yeah,
right?
oh, for sure.
It's about creating a whole culture of self-improvement,
Right.
supporting each other to become the best we can be.
Exactly. It's about realizing that we're all in this together and we can do more when we help each other. Personal growth doesn't have to be a solo journey. It's something we can do together.
As we're starting to wrap up this deep dive into the miracle morning, what are some of the big takeaways that stand out to you?
I think the most important one is that we have more control over our lives than we think. By just changing how we start our day, we can set off this chain reaction of positive things
Okay.
that can change our mindset, our habits, and yeah, even our destiny, I think.
That's so empowering. It's like taking the wheel, you know,
Yeah.
choosing where you want to go in life.
And it all starts with making that choice to invest in yourself, to spend time each morning working on your personal growth and committing to being the best version of yourself.
I love that. Well said. Before we finish up completely, what final thought would you like to leave our listener with?
If I could offer one final thought, it would be, well, don't underestimate the power of those small things you do day after day.
Right.
Even if you can only spare a few minutes each morning for your own growth, do it. Show up for yourself. Even if it's just for 6 minutes. You might be surprised how much it can change your life.
That's such good advice. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress. So be kind to yourself. Enjoy the process and just watch how those small deliberate actions can transform your mornings
Yeah.
and your whole life.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a way to really tap into your potential, to have more energy and feel more fulfilled every day, I definitely recommend checking out the Miracle Morning. It could be just what you need to create the life you've always wanted.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the miracle morning. Until next time, keep those miracle mornings going strong.